Yes, you have read the title correct. I have zero interest in going towards Guardians of the Galaxy 3, despite the fact that when Phase 4 and Phase 5 movies were announced, I was like, yeah, Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy will probably be good, maybe WandaVision, and the other two were kinda good. And yeah, I was having faith in James Gunn to deliver another good movie because the team was there. They seemed to have each other's back, which is very important, especially if we talk about Hollywood, and it will be a fun movie, I guess. The trailer looks so, I guess, but that's beyond the point. Yes, I guess I'm not the only one here, but I feel very burnt out by the Marvel, because I feel like Marvel movies are no more movies, they are content instead. So what I'm going to do this weekend is I'm going out and I'm watching The Two Towers, the extended version, because the Lord of the Rings movies have been re-released for all the cinemas, and I've missed The Two Towers. I've watched Fellowship of the Ring, and I was trapped for a 4.5 hour long Return of the King. And yeah, I want to watch The Two Towers. I missed it when it was playing, the week was playing, because Easter. I realized something as I was watching Return of the King, and as I was watching the Lord of the Rings movies. There is something that truly makes those movies classics. And it's not, the fan service of it being Lord of the Rings, because I'm not a huge Tolkien fan. I've talked about it in the past. I have read the books, Hobbit and Lord of the Rings once, and I think it was probably enough. I have some childhood trauma trying to read the Silmarillion. I had a whole video about it. It should be about there, not there, actually. What makes the Lord of the Rings movies so good is the fact that people who made them cared. And you can see the care in every single second. And as you go into the extended versions, they elevate the movies. Return of the King, not so much, it's a bit too long, but Fellowship of the Ring, no second in the extended version is wasted. And every second of it just builds more into the characters and more into the world. And this care, the fact that people making this movie really care, the fact that Peter Jackson have read these books and he was trying to make a movie out of what he imagined reading these books back then, because let's be honest, it's kinda different from the source material. I won't go too deep into that. Or the fact Christopher Lee, who was a huge Tolkien nerd, was consulting throughout the movie, really pays off. And even when not everybody cares, even when you have adaptations like The Witcher, where nobody but Henry Cavill cared, you can see that Henry Cavill caring was the best part in the show, and even though it was aggressively mediocre overall, Henry Cavill really stood out. He really took care of it. And when I was watching Phases 1 to 3, I really felt that people cared about these movies. Not every movie, of course, but I really believe that Jon Favreau really cared when he made Iron Man, and I believe that Robert Downey Jr. did care for the role of Tony Stark. When Joss Whedon, despite his flaws as a human, made The Avengers, he really cared for this movie. And you can see that. You can even see Edgar Wright caring for Ant-Man while he was writing the script, and he cared enough to rage quit when he had one too many revisions by Marvel Studios. But as time progressed, you start to see that people have stopped caring, that a lot of the Marvel movies are just content. Yes, there were exceptions, like there was Thor 2, that was clearly a movie where there was no vision behind it and no driving force. I think Patty Jenkins was supposed to do that, and that will be an interesting experience because she made two interesting superhero movies, the Wonder Woman movies, and she wanted to do a romance story which would fit Thor, I guess. Yes, then of course there is Thor 3 and Love and Thunder, where Taiki Waititi did not care at all about Thor, and it shows throughout the movie. However, he really had a vision, so that's why people like this movie. And of course, Guardians of the Galaxy were movies where James Gunn cared. And I think he's still caring for these movies. And I think that the reviews will be positive. And I'll probably go see the movie sometime, maybe not this weekend, because Lord of the Rings, maybe next weekend, who knows. Anything after Endgame, it feels like Marvel doesn't care. It feels like it's a big content factory, churning out TV shows and movies nobody cares about. And alright, I mean, there was some decent works from Marvel. Shang-Chi was surprisingly okay, which was more than what I expected. It was not a great movie, maybe B tier on the first 3 phases, but on phase 4, wow, it was great. WandaVision was actually interesting. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was kind of mediocre, but then there was Sam Raimi putting in some Sam Raimi touches that remind me of when Marvel used to hire directors with personality and let them make a Marvel movie in their own style. And believe me, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was not a Sam Raimi movie. It was Sam Raimi making a Marvel movie. Big difference, but it was enjoyable. People like Loki. I did not like Loki at all, but then again, I don't have a hard-on for Loki. I dislike him as a character because he's such a loser. I know that's the point of Loki, he's a loser god, but yeah, I don't like it really. I mean, I have been watching Doctor Who, I have been watching, what's the show from CW, the DC show, Legends of Tomorrow, which was far more entertaining knockoff Doctor Who than Doctor Who. I did not need timey-wimey multiverse Marvel saga, I guess. And yeah, Hawkeye was actually good. Hawkeye was very entertaining, the same way that Shang-Chi wasn't interesting. It was very mediocre, very unambitious, and it worked well. Then of course you have some what the fuck moments. You have Black Widow was meh, was aggressively meh. Yes, there is a good Black Widow movie out there, it's called Atomic Blonde, go watch it. It's a far better Black Widow movie than Black Widow. And if they have gone with something similar, with a director who could do a lot of gritty action and stunts, then probably it will have been a better movie than what we watched. This Black Widow movie that was about her sister and all about her and paving the way to insert another character in the MCU. Yeah. Falcon and Winter Soldier, it felt it was not bad, but when you have 2 Captain America movies with so great directors, with the Russo brothers, and then you get this TV show that is so flat in direction. It really feels bad. It was overlong, it was not well directed. Yeah, I mean, the Russo brothers could really make the characters pop. They had one scene and they captured their essence, which was quite a feat. And also that's something that Joss Whedon did very well in the first Avengers movie. Here, it was like a bloody mess. But not the worst series, because what's next? Oh yeah, Miss Marvel, it was kind of fun in the beginning. It really fell off towards the final 2 episodes. Just like the comic book, it tried to put way too many things together. It tried to juggle one too many elements, and I have a whole video about why the comic book Miss Marvel doesn't work. And no, there is nothing about wokeness. It's not this type of channel, alright? But yeah, It did some things better, in my opinion, than the comic books, but overall it had the same problems. And I'm not at all excited about the Marvels movie, because I guess it will be another Carol Danvers saves people of color because she's super powerful or something like the original Captain Marvel movie. Yeah, Captain Marvel is a racist movie. I made a whole video about Wakanda Forever. I did not like it that much because there was a T'Challa shaped hole throughout this movie that really alienated me. It was well made, great performances, but yeah, it was not a great movie. Had they cast someone else as T'Challa and kill him midway through the movie, this movie would have been perfect. But they did not, and this sucks. Oh yeah, Moon Knight. Moon Knight was something like they took The Mask, the Jim Carrey movie from the 90s, and they made a gritty reboot out of it. What else? Oh yeah, the Eternals. Marvel thought, let's make a Snyderverse movie. It was shit. Actually, had they hired Zack Snyder to do the Eternals, and they say we have these Kirby characters who are godlike, and we have no script, just make insane visuals, this movie would have been a hit. The way they did it, no. No, really, if you want to make a pure Kirby movie, get somebody like Zack Snyder and let them run wild, especially if there's a big concept, and Zack Snyder had a hard-on for fourth wall stuff in his own DC trilogy, so yeah, that's the Eternals are basically fourth world ripoffs. Yeah, that movie was awful. What was awful? Oh yeah, right, what was awful? What really hit the peak of aggressively mediocre? Ant-Man, Quantumania. Really, at this point, I cannot recall what other show or movie Marvel made, because I'm burned out from bad content, because that's the difference between content and movies. Content is something you put out, and you have to put it out periodically to keep people interested, or maybe not interested, to keep people aware you exist. Movies, on the other hand, is works you put out in order to entertain people, and you care about it. And I believe that. Oh right, I forgot She-Hulk. Yes, I forgot She-Hulk. Marvel made a movie about a strong, independent career woman who also has an identity crisis and a messy personal life, and when she's challenged, her solution is to talk to the manager. They meet the Karen, the Karen Hulk, as a TV show. And yeah, I mean, you're probably like, you're a sexist. Man, these shows are made for girls and women, and nobody cares about you, you're in your 40s, you're a mom baby. Actually, I have a niece who is in her tweens, and she is voraciously watching Marvel movies. And she was like, I hated Miss Marvel, I hated She-Hulk, I hated everything, I love Spider-Man. And her favorite Spider-Man is Miles, because she got the Marvel bug from Spider-Verse, the one movie that was not made by Marvel. And she also laughs at me for liking the Sam Raimi movies, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. What can I say? I grew up with them. Nostalgia. Movies are entertainment you care about, and Marvel doesn't care about its movies. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy is a case where the creators do care about the movie. They want to make the best movie they can and finish the trilogy, and then James Gunn can go to DC and make something fun out there. I mean, Suicide Squad was like R-rated. It really got this Deadpool feel quite well. It was R-rated Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, Probably if they could let James Gunn make unrated Guardians of the Galaxy movies, they would have been much better. I'll probably watch it. I'll wait for the reviews and probably watch next weekend, but I really feel burnt out. And I guess many of you feel the same. If you watched Guardians 3, leave a comment below, or if you plan to watch it, and encourage me to go see it, because I might forget by the next weekend. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Stay marvelous.